Hey, yo, welcome to the Best Day Ever podcast with your boy, Ebenezer Scrooge, slash the Grinch, slash the man you love to hate, but also known as True Sav. I'm still, as you can hear, under the weather, unfortunately. I finally figured it out. In the last month or so, I messed around and fell off. My eating habits were less than pristine. It was that time in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I just wasn't eating like I was supposed to. And it finally caught up with me. 70 hours a week. Not for the faint of heart. I'm here to tell you. I was doing good. It doesn't really bother me. The workload doesn't bother me. It's just, I haven't had time to really make my smoothies. We've been moving, so I haven't had time to do my vegetables and stuff. So I've been eating a lot of bullshit. Not like I have some Thai food. Still no meat. But I'm pretty sure I'm not drinking all the water I need to. I'm drinking a lot of sparkling water, but just not regular water. I have had a little bit of pizza. Not even gonna front. Had a couple spicy potato soft tacos. A Mexican pizza, sub beans. So yeah, I mean, Christmas is over. Bah humbug, all that type of stuff. So I can finally get it back together. I have worked out though. So even though I haven't been eating the best, I did get a little half-house workout in. The penthouse started to come together. Had to give away a lot of stuff. A lot of clothes, a lot of appliances and stuff. It's finally starting to come together. Get the cabinet space and all that going. I'm fucking dying. For Christmas at 24, we decided that we were going to, even before that, I finally ran into somebody Instagram famous. Now, for those of you who don't know, like my old self, I didn't know what Instagram famous meant. Like, I didn't know there was people that were Instagram famous. So apparently, there's people who have, I guess you have like more than maybe 100,000 followers on Instagram, and that makes you Insta famous. So I was at 24, and this girl walks in, and she has orange hair. So this already threw me off. So I'm just kind of like, okay, hey, how you doing? She signs in. And I'm talking to a guest over by the supplements. We're talking about whey protein, stuff like that. And so she walks up and asked me to ring something up for her. And I was like, yeah, we know I'm with the customer at the moment. But, as soon as I'm done, I'll be more than happy to help you. So she kind of wanders off, like, this is the worst customer service I've ever had. It's like, okay. I was literally talking to somebody, but I guess. So one of the other ladies I work with comes up to me and is like, you don't know who that is? I was like, I have no idea who that is. Like, oh, that's fucking sparkly hair 2030. I was like, oh, okay. Well, what does sparkly hair 2030 do? Oh, she's Instagram famous. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't really know what that meant. So apparently, sparkly hair 2030 comments on stuff and wears nice clothes or something. I'm still pretty confused as to what makes her a celebrity. I'm not really too sure. Besides making snarky remarks about people, not too sure. This whole Instagram famous thing is new to me. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's a whole new world out there. In some really sad news, I did something that I had to do that I'm not too proud of. I had to fire somebody. Dun, dun, dun. And it was before Christmas. So I really feel bad. No, I don't. She was a piece of shit. So I've had this employee for a while now. So one of the horrible things about being a manager, well, I usually delegate hiring people to the manager, believe me. But sometimes in certain cases, like, I'll go above and beyond, and I'll actually hire people. And she was one of the people that I'd hired. And the problem with hiring people is that they all give you the same story about how they're a great employee and they're going to work extra hard and this and this and this, and they have all these customer service skills and blah, 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 blah. Well, sometimes it works out, like in my case, and then sometimes it blows up in your fucking face. And she was one of those times where it blew up in my face. Like, she was just maybe, and I knew something, I knew I messed up because one of the ladies that worked there, she was there before I had gotten there. And she was something else. I've never, ever worked with, what was her name? Anita. Oops, maybe I shouldn't air shit out. Well, it's too late. She's never going to come back. So Anita used to work there, and Anita was like, for reference, she looked like a Teletubby with a lazy eye. Cool as fuck though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I liked her as a person, but as an employee, like, I'll pass. Cool person though. I would hang out with her today. But she would do stuff like, she would wonder. This is a Dickies for reference. So we have stuff on the line, like we have food out, and she would look at the beans and be like, you know what? Those beans look kind of dry. I'm going to go rehydrate them. So she would go to the back, like disappear for like 20, 30 minutes, and then come back with the beans. And it'd be like, bro, like, what the fuck were you doing? Trusev, I had to go rehydrate the beans. Like, they just look so terrible. Like, no one's going to want to buy those. And it's like, yes, I appreciate that. But, like, did it really take you 30 minutes to do that? Or she would come in and be hungry, so she would just, like, eat before her shift started. Or she would get into a conversation with a customer for, like, 20, 30 minutes. Or she would say that she was going to go to Safeway to get something. It would be gone for like an hour. Which, I mean, everyone slacks off from time to time. Like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But, I mean, I'm the boss, so I mean, I could do that. Like, she was constantly doing it. And every time I would tell the boss, like, yo, like, just let me fire her, please. He would always be like, oh, no, well, you know. Oh, well, you know, we're going to be shorthanded. Oh, it's like, I'd rather be shorthanded deal with this shit any longer. Like, come on, man. Like, you're making my job that much more difficult. Oh, man, this and this and this and this and this and this and this. So, finally, I don't know, we had ended up, I couldn't fire her, so I ended up just cutting her hours. So I gave her, like, I don't know, fucking 2 days, something like that. So finally, after a while, she got tired of my shit, apparently. And she decided that she was going to go get a job at Macy's. And when Macy's called, I feel kind of bad for the... No, I don't. Let me stop lying. I gave the most glowing review of an employee that I've ever gave. Oh, she's amazing. Hard worker, always on time. Like, best employee that you'll ever have. Sure. So, thank God they took her. So she quit. But before she quit, I hired this new girl, Dee Dee. And when I hired her, apparently they had worked together at Safeway before. And as Anita was leaving, she was like, oh, this girl Dee Dee is the worst girl I've ever worked with. Like, she just doesn't want to work. She's bad with customers. And I was just like, I'm not saying that you're not telling the truth, Anita, but I mean, coming from you, I don't know how much credibility you have with me, but it's cool. Again, I'll hit you up forever. forever having a party. I'll fuck with you. So she leaves, and little did I know, she was absolutely fucking right. Of all the employees that we've had, she was probably, of all the jobs, she might be top 5. She's top 5 worst employees / coworkers I've ever worked with. Like, she was late. She had an attitude. She was bad with customers. She was bad at her job. And she was a special kind of bad at her job. Like, she's one of those stupid people that doesn't know she's stupid and would try to correct you. Like, she would mispronounce words, and then when I would look at her and be like, I don't think that's how you say that. She would look at me and scoff and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, I guess. One time she told a story about her grandma. She was like, yeah, now this is on the line. This isn't like me and her having a private conversation. She initiates this conversation in front of other employees, like maybe 3 or 4 other people. And it was like, yeah, something. My granny was cool, this and this and this. She told us if you want to keep him in, you got to suck some dick. And I was like, okay, this is definitely not an appropriate workplace conversation. But I wasn't a part of the conversation. I was somewhere else. I just heard her say it, and there was no customers in the store. So since no one really said anything, I thought, whatever. So then she goes on to tell tell the other employees that her grandma took her mother, her aunt, and another female relatives of hers and showed them how to suck dick. At that point, I had to shut the conversation down. And I was like, okay, look, this is not what we're going to talk about today. Like, this is not, no thank you. Not going to happen. Now, in hindsight, I should have listened because I wanted to know, how did you show you how to do this? But that definitely was not appropriate, and I wasn't going to explain that to HR. I absolutely was not. Then she said that she would always talk about how she didn't have money and how if a dude wanted to date her, they had to have all this money and this and this and this. And it was just like, sweetheart, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because if you're trying to only date someone who can pay your bills, then that means that they're going to have control over everything that you do. And they're not really going to want to hear your opinion on anything. Because if I'm paying for all your bills, you're not really doing shit. Like, you're my concubine. Like, you're not my partner. You're going to do what the fuck I tell you to do. But I didn't even waste my breath. There was no point in me wasting my breath on her. Like, she wasn't going to listen. So I let it slide. It's like, whatever. She had more complaints and more negative Yelp reviews, again, than anybody I've ever seen. Like, she would just get in, like, every day she would come in, she'd have an attitude. Or you never knew how she was feeling. And then one time she told me, she's like, well, people in my house know not to talk to me until before, like, 10 o'clock. I was like, well, first of all, this isn't your fucking house. You're at work. So I don't give a fuck about that, number one. Number two, no one forced you to be here. You begged me for this job. And now here you are with attitude. Like, I don't understand. And then it would be dictated on how she felt. So if she felt like joking, it was cool. But if you joked with her and she didn't want to joke, she would be mad. And then she wanted to call me, true Sav, someone did this and someone did that. And this person's bullying me. And so I was like, oh my God. Go away. Just fucking go away. I fucking hate you. Go away. So the final straw. One day, because God is a loving God, and she answers all prayers. One day we had regional coming, and I knew, but I didn't tell anybody. So they come in, and our regional people don't wear name badges. Like, you wouldn't know unless you knew who they were. So I wasn't there when this happened. But apparently, the regional guy came to order some food, and she gave him the attitude of a lifetime. So, of course, I get the phone call. Who is Dee? Like, oh, she works in the mornings, blah, 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 blah. So, like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you need to fire her. I said, say what? I need to do what? They're like, yeah, she's got to go. You got to fire her, like, immediately. So I asked what happened, and basically she just gave dude an attitude. The same attitude she gives customers that she swears she doesn't give them. And so, what was it? I was off that weekend. Christmas Eve was the 24th, and I worked Tuesday to Saturday. So this happened on the weekend. So I had to fire her on Christmas Eve. So yeah, that was an awkward conversation to say the least. So yeah, I had to call her in, like, yeah. So remember that customer that she kind of had an attitude with the other day? Yeah, that was our regional director. So I'm gonna have to let you go. Tears ensued. Oh, it's the day before Christmas. When am I going to get my son? And I was like, that's not my problem. Like, I've told you for months, you need to fix your attitude. Like, I hate this one. As corny as it is, your attitude determines your altitude. And you can't let things bother you like that. Like, my life is far from perfect. While every day is the best day ever, there's things that happen that aren't the best, but you have to learn how to deal with them. And unfortunately, like, when you react like that, and you react out of emotion, bad things are going to happen. Like, there was no need for you to get an attitude. There's nothing that I'm sure the regional dude said to you that was that bad for you to get an attitude like that. And they get upset with me because one of the things I tell them all the time is, your life is the culmination of all the decisions that you've ever made. I say it all the time. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. It's not anybody's fault. It's not your mom's fault, your dad's fault. It's no one's fault. You chose to be here. Every choice you've ever made brought you to this point. You've had a shitty attitude your entire life. That's why your baby dad left. That's why you're still living in a struggle apartment with fucking 5 people. Like, you've made no moves to try to improve your situation. You just complain and blame people. It's everyone's fault but yours. Like, you have to accept personal accountability for things. It's sometimes you're just wrong. Sometimes it's you. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. I wanted to blame everyone else for all of my problems. And this is a conversation I had with her after I had to fire her. It's like, for the longest time, I was you. It was the police fault. It was my mom's fault. It was my dad's fault. It was the teacher's fault. It was anyone's fault but my own. It's like, but I realized the common denominator in all my stories was me. I was the one making the decisions. So I had to reevaluate what I was doing. And I was like, and yes, this is unfortunate that you got fired the day before Christmas. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it's fucking hilarious. Like, you chose to act like this. You could have came to work with a good attitude, but you chose not to. And now we're in the situation that we're in, and hey, gotta let you go. So yeah, that was probably one of the most fulfilling firings, but also one of the saddest. Because while I don't particularly care for the holidays, I understand that people do. And that's going to be a pitiful ass feeling. Like, you're going to have a lot to explain. Like, hopefully it'll be a teachable moment in her life and she'll change, but I highly doubt it. The lever doesn't change its spots. You're going to be that same bitter person. It's probably going to be my fault. Or the regional guy was racist, and that's why he's some other bullshit. So, I mean, I wish you the best, Dee Dee, if you're listening. God bless you. I hope she helps you out there. So, that was my Christmas Eve. So, I go to 24, a few steps away, and they went all out this year. Which is, now this is weird, because the 24 I work at, you would think that a gym would be centered on health, like healthy lifestyle and good eating, stuff like that. Wrong. They give us the craziest fucking food at this gym. So I come in, and I already feel like, I work at a fucking barbecue place. So, I'm not saying that some of my decisions are the healthiest. I don't eat the meat there, but I will eat some of the sides. And that loaded mashed potato that they got is the shit. I'm here to tell you. Those waffle fries is the shit. If you're ever at Dickie's, try those. What is it? Waffle fries, jalapeno beans, baked potato casserole. Those are the shit. Or I'll get a salad with the onion tanglers on them. Fuego. So I come in, I go to the break room, and they've got the spread of spreads for us. Someone, apparently the manager, their general manager, loves Boston Market. So there's fucking chicken, like quartered chicken. There's turkey. There's ribs. I don't know why they just didn't come next door out of game the deal, but I mean, it's 24's money. So there's chickens, sliced turkey, ham, green beans, potatoes, gravy, yams, these fucking horrible steamed vegetables. They were fucking garbage. It was the worst shit I've ever tasted. Corn. They had cornbread. Cornbread was fire. Boston Market's cornbread is absolute fire. I'm here to tell you. So I'm looking at all this and I'm like, okay, I'll take some green beans. I'll take the mashed potatoes and then some of the cornbread. I know I'm cheating on the cornbread, but it was worth it. So I closed. So they had to have, I mean, Jesus. When we closed, there was only maybe 4 or 5 people left. And so I was like, well, what are you going to do with all this? They're like, oh, we're just going to throw it away because no one's going to be here tomorrow. I was like, wait. You're going to throw all of this away? They're like, yeah, well, no one's going to be here tomorrow, so it's just going to sit here. I was like, no. This is what we're going to do. Give me about 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to put all of this together and rewrap it. I'm going to get some cellophane from next door. I mean, if I got the code. And I'm going to wrap this up. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to be king of the transient population in Oakland. They're like, what do you mean? I said, I'm just going to go give it out. Like, we're not going to throw away all this food. I mean, there was party trays full. I'm talking about full party trays of chicken, turkey, everything I just mentioned. There was at least a full tray. When it was all said and done, I wrapped everything up. There was 9 trays. There was at least 3. No, there was 4 full of meat, full of ribs, chicken, turkey, ham. There was 2 mashed potatoes. No, 1 mashed potato, 2 yams, 1 green bean. No, it was. I was right. 2 mashed potatoes, a green bean, 2 yams. 4 of them were full of meat, and then another full tray of like cornbread. So I was like, no. We're not going to throw this away. You're tripping. So even though I have a love-hate relationship with the transient population here in Oakland, there's still people at the end of the day. Like, I'm not going to, as much as I dislike them begging for money and just being general assholes, it still see the need to try to help somebody. And I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to throw away all of this food because no one wants it. Like, that's, no. There's just something wrong with that one. So I pack everything up and I come back, and wouldn't you know it, as soon as I leave, it starts raining. So I get to Oakland, and of course, the one time I'm looking for a homeless person, or excuse me, one of the transient population, I can't find a fucking soul. Nowhere. Nowhere. I drive by Home Depot, like in Emeryville, where they're usually at, lined up on the street. Nope. San Pablo's? Nope. By the old apartment? Nope. So now I have all of this food in the car. And I'm like, I'm not taking this in the apartment. She's going to fucking kill me if I walk in here with all this food. So I'm like, what do I do? Now, mind you, I've been driving around for like 30 minutes at this point. Like, I'm ready to just throw the shit out the car and be done. Be like, man, I tried. Like, fuck it. So I finally turn, where do I go? I go down Grand and San Pablo. And there's a corner on the intersections, like a little island that some of our residents, our Oconda residents have taken over. And there's about 7 or 8 tents there. They have, dare I say it's cute. It's a nice little housing development right on the corner. They have rocks and stuff in the front. They have a table for like donations where like people can leave stuff. So I'm driving up San Pablo, and I see dude like kind of talking to himself, doing the regular transient thing, and I pull up on him, and he was like, "Hey, what's up? Who are you looking for?" I was like, "Nah, it's not even like that." I was like, "Are you hungry?" He was like, "Hell yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here, day late, dollar short." I was like, "I got you. Hold on, I'm going to pull up." So I pull over, and I get out, and I give him the cornbread thing, and I give him the bag with, like, silverware, napkins, all the sauce and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, man, what's the occasion?" And I was like, "Oh, God told me to come give this to you." And he kind of looked at me, and he was just like, "You're funny." So he was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like, "Oh, no, that's not it." And he was like, "For real?" So I come back, bam, get the first three. And he was like, "Oh, thanks, man." I was like, "Oh, no, that's not it." I grabbed the next three, bam. I was like, "All right, I got one more." Give him the last three. He's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Thanks, man." And he's kind of mundane in his response. I'm like, "All right, this is awkward." So he puts everything down, and they had a barbecue pit going. So I was like, it's still in the aluminum foil thing, so you can warm most of it up, like if that's what you're trying to do. Because on Christmas, they have hot meals in the morning. Like, all the shelters give out hot meals, stuff like that. But I was like, "Bro, you're not going to tell me you're going to throw all this food away. Like, you're not, I know you're not going to." But he didn't really have the response. Like, usually when I drop food off to people like that, they have a totally different response. So I was tripping. Because I was like, "Oh, okay, ungrateful motherfucker." Like, whatever. So after I give it to him, he says, "Yeah, man, thanks for the food." And he's kind of like milling around. I know he wants to ask me something. And I already know what he's going to say before he even said it. I was like, "Yeah, what's up, man? Would it be ugly to ask you for a couple of dollars?" I was like, "Yes, it would be, motherfucker." Yeah, it absolutely would be. "Oh, all right, man. You know, my bad. I was like, "Well, are you trying to..." So I turned to him, I'm like, "So let me ask, are you trying to get high? Or are you trying to get something to drink?" And as soon as I say it, he responds like, "Oh, man, I'm just trying to get something to drink. Like, I'm not even gonna do you like that." I was like, "All right, give me a second. I'll be right back." So I go to the liquor store down the street, and I get one of those big ass gallons of the cheaper shit they got. I got a gallon of whiskey and a gallon of vodka for like $12 or something. So I come back, and when I pull up on him, I give it to him, and he goes, "Oh, man, thank you." You know what I'm saying? "You made my Christmas, brother." Oh, thank you. This motherfucker was more happy for the alcohol than the food. But I mean, hey, like, you're outside and it's raining, bro. Like, I'm not here to judge. Like, it's hard out here. As long as you're happy, man, I felt better about it. And I don't want to tell the story to get credit for doing something nice. I'm telling the story because it was funny. His reaction was funny to me. And it bothers me, especially around Christmas time and Thanksgiving time, when if you're going to do something like that and you're going to give to people who are needy, don't fucking post about it. Like, don't take a picture of somebody when they're at their lowest. Be like, "Oh, look at how good of a person I am." Like, bro, that's foul. Like, I just, as much as I do it, I try not to ever bring it up. My wife is the one that will bring it up in front of people. And I told her, like, "Please don't do that." Like, number one, it makes me really uncomfortable. And number two, it makes it feel like I'm not doing it for the right reason. Like, I'm not doing it for credit. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. And so it's, especially now, it's like if you have a backpack drive or you're handing out food and stuff like that, it just really irks my soul when people force the person that they're giving something to take a picture with them. Or, "Oh, look at me. Look how nice I am giving out hamburgers." Like, it's always on Facebook or YouTube, whatever the case. "Look at me feeding these homeless people. Look at me giving these homeless people money." Like, you didn't have to tell anybody you were doing that. And that's not to say that they don't genuinely mean it when they're doing it. Like, some people might actually genuinely think they're doing a good thing. Or they might be doing it for the right reasons. But to me, it takes away from it when you like post pictures of people. And of course, me being the hypocrite that I am, I've done it before. But my situation was a little different. I wasn't helping do that out of the kindness of my heart. It's on, do I have a picture? It was on my first Instagram. The old Instagram that I fucking lost. And I had just moved to Bakersfield. Because my thing is, if you're asking for money, at least be honest. Like, I'm going to help you out. Like, it's the reason why I don't carry cash anymore. Because if I have cash on me, I'm going to give the shit away. I don't know. Something's wrong with me. But I was in Bakersfield, and we had just moved there. Less than a month. I'm at the gas station on, what is it? Stockdale Highway, I think. I'm at the AMPM, and dude walks up to me. I don't think he was homeless. He might have been. I said, man, do I have a picture of him? I'm not going to post a picture. That's fucked up. I already fucked up once. So he comes up to me, hey, bro. Like, I'd seen him kind of walking around, going car to car. And he was like, hey, man, look, I don't even got a sob story for you. I just got out of jail. He's like, here's my paperwork right here. I'm just trying to get a drink, bro. That's how I was like, I tell you what, I'll give you $10 right now, but you got to take a picture with the $10. He was like, oh, this nigga for sure. So I give him the 10, he takes the picture, and I posted it. And in hindsight, it's kind of like, I didn't feel bad about him because you weren't really homeless. Like, you just got out of jail. You did a couple months, you wanted to drink, you didn't have no money on your books. All right. Like, whatever. But, like, that whole fucking, look at how good of a person I am by fucking helping this homeless person. Like, that's just whack. Like, that's just absolutely whack. But yeah, now that I think about it, that's usually the question I give somebody, especially when I was in Sac downtown. Because a lot of, depending on how homeless you looked, depending on how much money I gave you. If I gave you money at all. Like, if you were on the corner with a sign, like, I'm not fucking with you. Like that, But, like, if I come out the store and you got your shopping cart full of cans and shit, like, I'll help you if you're hustling yourself. Like, if you're trying to make something happen, all right. But if you're just out there begging, like, nah, bro, I can't even rock with you. Like, I go to work. I work 70 hours a week. What do I look like giving some money to a motherfucker standing outside talking about, I'm tired and hungry. So am I. So I don't want to hear it. Where was I? I was at the Smart and Final on Broadway one time. And oddly enough, I had walked into the building, I'm walking in, and my pastor is in front of me. He didn't see me, but I saw him. So this homeless guy is standing out in front of the thing. He's like, oh, can you get me something to eat? He wasn't even asking for money. He was asking just for something to eat. Dude gives him the palms up. I don't know. Can't help you. So I'm like, that's what God would do, huh? So dude comes out. He's like, hey, man, can you help me get something to eat? I'm like, yeah, I got you. I was like, stay right here. Don't ask anybody else. I got you. So, at the time, I don't even think I had any money. I go inside. I get my man a loaf of bread, some, like, individual packages of deli meat. So, like, you didn't have to open the whole thing. Like, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 of them. Bag of chips, bottled water, like, some candy or something. And then I think, like, a bag of apples or oranges or something like that. So I come out, and I have the whole shopping cart. So dude's just like, oh, okay, like, so what'd you get for me? I was like, oh, no, this is yours. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, yes, this is for you. You said you were hungry, right? And wouldn't you know it, because God, in her infinite wisdom, is on my side. The preacher walks out. So he sees me giving dude the cart full of food. So I'm looking at him like, yeah, be careful how you treat strangers. You might be entertaining an angel, buddy. Remember that one? But let me leave the preacher alone. So yeah, dude was just like, wow, like, good looking. So grabs his little bags, dips off, and that's the end of that one. I think my favorite one, though, would have to be, I was trying to kick the sauce. And, we have our weak moments when we have habits that we're trying to stop. And it was one of those days where it was the best day ever, but it could have been a little better. So I went to the liquor store, go inside, I get my poison of choice. And as I come out, the same thing. See a dude with a cart, and he's like, "Hey, do you got some change?" And I was like, "Nah, man. Like, I just got this bottle. Like, that's all the money I had." And I was like, "I tell you what." I was like, "Do you want some money or do you want something to drink?" He's like, "Shit, I want something to drink." I was like, "How much money you got right now?" He's like, "I got like $4. So I was like, "All right, man, this is what I'm gonna do. Here, you can have this bottle." And it was a pretty expensive bottle. It was some top shelf shit, I'm here to say. So he looks at me and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, here, bro. Just take your $4 and get something to eat. Like, here, I don't even need this anyways." So before I could finish my sentence, my man took the bottle and skated down the block. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's as much as an adversarial relationship I have with our transient population. I try to do nice things. Like, they get the fuck on my nerves, but within a relationship, there's ups and there's downs. So that happens. I gave my man Christmas dinner, and he really wanted a liquid dinner, but it was all good. So the next day is Christmas. So on Christmas, you already know what time it is. You got to visit the in-laws. So I'd already visited my mom on Sunday. I went and caught the Holy Ghost with her at church. So now it's time to visit the in-laws, which is always fun. And I told the GM at 24, I was like, "Hey, if you need anybody to come work on Christmas," he's like, "Bro, we close early." I was like, "Yeah, but if you just need like someone to come turn on the alarm or something," he's like, "Oh, you got to go to the in-laws, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why is it that people don't like their in-laws? Like, why is that always a joke?" And I was like, I don't think that people dislike well, yeah, in certain cases your in-laws are just pieces of shit. But I don't think that people necessarily, or it's not inherent that people dislike their in-laws. It's two different lifestyles. Again, it's two becoming one. When you're younger, you're willing to listen to new ideas and new ways of thought, and you're willing to change. Well, some people are willing to change how they think. And once you get older and more established and you have a family, those things become more ingrained in you. Specifically, it's like, I used to always get into it with mothers, especially, well, not especially, but anytime I would be online and there would be any kind of discussion forum and people would be talking, those would always be the people I would get into it with. And that's not to say that guys didn't argue as much, but I would always get into it with them, and their number one line would be like, "Well, I'm a mother," and it's like, I'm not your child. Like, just because your child has to listen to you doesn't mean I have to listen to you. Like, if I'm saying you're full of shit, then that's my opinion. I don't give a fuck. And I think that's the cycle of what happens, is that when you get married, your circle gets a lot smaller. So when you're younger and you have a particular group of friends, while you might share certain common beliefs, as you get into your late 20s, early 30s, and you get married, you start to have kids, it's usually the two of you. So you usually buy into each other's bullshit. So whatever feelings that you guys have, that becomes the truth. So whatever political, religious beliefs that you have, that becomes a fact. And so then when someone challenges that, or when someone does something outside of what you believe the norm, it's a big deal. Just like me at Christmas. Like, I, at this point, don't particularly care for celebrating it, but to some people, Christmas is their time of year. They decorate the house, and they put Christmas lights up, and there's a tree, and there's presents, and there's a whole big situation. So when someone like me comes and it's just kind of like, it's another day. oh my gosh, I can't believe it, and this and this and this. Or when you challenge someone's beliefs on, you're supposed to get a job and work for 30 years and get your gold watch and retire. And I feel like a lot of times when that becomes the issue with in-laws, because they have their own personal belief systems. And when you marry into that, it's usually a conflict. And people aren't willing to accept other people's beliefs. Like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. All right. That's not a problem. Like, let it go. So I feel like and it goes both ways. Because there's certain things that people believe that well, it's not that I don't get along with them, but there's certain things that people do or believe that you have a hard time. No fucking way. Oh my God. I am the biggest asshole on the face of the planet. If you're wondering why all of a sudden it sounds like I'm not in the goddamn sound chamber, it's because my headphones have been unplugged for 40 fucking minutes. Oh. I looked over and was like, why are those sitting there like that? And why is the thing not spiking when I'm talking? Wow. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Why, Lord? See, that's what I get. It was God. She was mad because why are you talking about your fucking in-laws like this? Oh. So, yeah, I just cried for like 10 minutes in the bathroom. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I say all this to say I had to go to my wife's in-laws for Christmas on her dad's side, which over the years we've learned to love each other. I wasn't always the best in-law, and they're more reserved. They're more of the quiet type, and I'm the exact opposite of that by every stretch of the imagination. So we go over there, but I mean, we're married now, so they kind of tolerate my bullshit and everything that I bring. So we go over there, and I know when I go over there that it's going to be sports, and more sports. And we all know how I feel about that. So it's hard. It's hard to deal with it because it's like, that's all they want to talk about. Oh, LeBron did this person did that. What do you think about this? What do the Kings need to do? So on and so forth. And it's like, I want to just tell them it's all bread and circus, man. It's all a show. But I don't. I played nice this year. I participated in the conversation. This is the side of the family where I went to go see her nephew. Yeah, he's the one that played football, and I went to go see. So baseball season's coming up. So that's going to be interesting because he's a prospect. So we're going to see about that. And then he puts me up on all the new music. What was the last one? SOBXRBE was the one last time. Then I guess Rowdy Rich was somebody here introduced and some other guy, YBN Corday or something. That's some guy he told me about. So that was interesting. But yeah, it was I guess last Christmas was a little odd because fresh off of the wedding, there were still kind of doubts because I was wild as fuck at the wedding. One of these days, I got to do a wedding episode. That's going to be the one. That was from what I remember, it was pretty interesting. But yeah, we were fresh off the wedding, so I was kind of wild. So I think there were still some reservations about whether or not this was going to be a good idea, getting married to this guy. But all of those feelings have since been qualmed. But we talked about some stock options. Talked about different stocks that we should buy. And they, oh shit! I just dropped this poster on my head. Who was it? LeBron was playing, so I pretended like I liked that, and me and her dad got to converse. So that was fun. I'm acclimating to my new environment. I still fucking hate Christmas, but it's cool. And then there was like, it was funny because, hey yo, chill out. My guard dog is over here on high alert, and we had to buy. I digress. We had to buy these like little vibrating collars because they fucking bark when we're not here. So they bark and bark and bark, and apparently we got a noise complaint. So we bought these little vibrating collars, so whenever they bark, it vibrates. So they've gotten better and they've gotten quiet, but I mean, they're still dogs. So from time to time, they're gonna bark. But so we don't really buy gifts for each other. Like no one really buys gifts. Everybody buys gift cards. So it's like if everyone buys a gift card for each other, we're really just exchanging the same $100. So you're really just I'm giving you 20, you 20, you 20, and you 20, and then I get it back. So I mean, I guess I would have preferred to like let's do something. Like let's go like on a trip or something. Like let's go somewhere as a group and do something memorable. But I mean, I guess I'll have to do that with my family. I can't really. It's their tradition, so I got to respect it. I'm not going to be a fucking asshole who doesn't want to show this is fucking blah blah blah. It's first you get along, then you go along. There's no need to be that guy. I mean, we've been together for 12 years, so I mean, you have to respect people's traditions and what they. If Christmas is their thing, if Thanksgiving is their thing, there's no need to be that person. Like, just it's one day, it's a couple of hours. Just let it go. You don't even have to do all that. There's no need. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to be that asshole that nobody likes. And that's going to be when it's a real problem. Because at least if you get along and go along, they won't mind you being there. But if you start causing an issue and you always want to start arguments and all this other type of shit, then you're just a drag to be around. Nobody wants to be around that person. Now, because I'm a hypocrite, with that being said, we had to go to her mom's side for Christmas. Oops, sorry, I dropped you guys. Now, I loved her mom to death. I loved her mom. When she was here, that was the one person in her family that got along. And I loved the rest of her family. It's just we have very different views of life. Very different. And her mom's side of the family is white. Just saying that for context, not saying it to be good or bad. But we do things a little bit differently. And we have totally different views of the world in general. So I've been sick for the last week. So I ended up calling out to work on Friday and Saturday. So I was off from both jobs. So I was going to stay home and rest, but someone wanted me to go so bad. Oh, will you go? Will you go? Will you go? Will you go? So I'm like, all right, sure. I'll go. Fine. I'll play nice. It's Christmas. I haven't seen him in a while. So we go, and how do I describe this? They have this Christmas thing that they all do where they all get together, they go to somebody's house, and it's like a potluck. So it's not really Christmas food, which is cool. I mean, whatever. She makes all the cookies, and they do whatever. But it's still awkward because I'm the only black guy there. One of her cousins is dating a black guy. That's a whole other situation. But I'm not like the happy, joy black guy. I'm like the angry black guy, apparently. I don't know how to describe it. It's weird. Like, I feel like they're uncomfortable around me. Not because not because I'm black, but because they've never been around anyone black, so they don't know really how to act or respond to the things I say, or maybe I feel like they just feel uncomfortable around me, even though it's been like 12 years. But I mean, I understand because I don't really talk to them. Like, again, I don't talk about politics, sports, religion, any kind of subject like that. I leave it alone. And that's all they want to talk about. How do you feel about this? This happened in current events, and it's hard to try to navigate that because most of them voted for Trump, which is fine. I don't really care. I don't even politics doesn't affect me like that. But the issue is a lot of, again, like we said, the problem with in-laws is it's hard to have a dialogue about any subject where emotions don't get involved, especially when you're saying something contrary to what someone believes. Cognitive dissonance comes in, and that's when it gets ugly. We all know what cognitive dissonance is, right? Cognitive dissonance is when you provide facts that are contrary to a long-held belief that someone has, and it causes an emotional reaction. So usually when I tell people that most professional sports are rigged, and then I provide them with proof, they have an emotional response. Oh, you're just jealous because you don't play pro sports, or you're just jealous because you're not rich, or you're stupid, this and this and this. It's like, well, I mean, it's a fact. Like, this isn't a personal opinion of mine. This is a fact. Like, I'm not gaining anything by saying this. So a lot of times I choose not to get into conversations like that because it's pointless. And then a lot of times it's just dick measuring contest shit. Oh, I did this. We went on this trip. We did this, and it's just like, oh, okay, bro, that's what's up. And her brother and I, El Presidente, I run things, never run from things. I feel like he almost feels the same way, because like he talks to people, but it's sort of uncomfortable. Because like you don't really want to have a conversation with me. You don't really want to know how I'm doing. You're just kind of doing it because we have to. Like, we're here. Like, you don't call me. You don't text me. Like, it's been 364 days since the last time I talked to you. You don't give a fuck about what I got going on in my life. Like, you're just pretending. It's kind of like the topics that they want to discuss. Like, you don't really care about gun control or homeless people or anything like that. Like, you just want to talk about it. And I find that the most frustrating part, because it's like you don't have a plan. You just want to talk about it. Like, this isn't something that you really feel genuine about, or you would try to do something about it. You would be an activist about it. It's just something that you have a very strong opinion about, that you want to share with people, and you want people to think that you care. And it annoys the fuck out of me. Like, it really does. Because, I don't know. And then, because we were watching, who was it? LSU beat the dog shit out of Oklahoma, for those of you who care. So we're going into the next game, which is Ohio State Clemson. And the one black guy who was there, who's dating her cousin, asked me who I was cheering for. And I was like, oh, Ohio State. I don't really like Clemson. And he's like, oh, Dabo Swinney is a nice guy, this and this. And I was like, okay. Because there were still some other people in the room, and I was like, I'm really not going to get into this right now. Like, because it's hard being a revolutionary because there's so many things that happen on a day-to-day basis that have a bigger implication, and you sound crazy as fuck when you tell people this. Like, you sound crazy when you tell people, like, well, actually, this and this and this and this and this happened, and it's because of this and this and this. If they already aren't there, like they don't have a certain understanding of the subject, and you try to explain it, you just sound like a lunatic. So it's really hard to have a conversation with certain people on certain topics, especially when they don't know and think that they know. So I just usually agree and say whatever. So at a certain point, one of the guys before the game, because they stopped showing the national anthem now because people are protesting and whatnot. So the guy is sitting there before the game. Game's about to start. It's about to be kickoff. The guy's praying, sitting there because I'm watching it. One of her aunts turns to the TV screen, sees him. She goes, "Oh God, what's this? Someone else is protesting for civil rights." And she didn't whisper this. Like, she said it loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. Her husband was sitting next to her, who's a solid dude. Like, I fuck with dude. He heard her say this and he immediately straightens up and just looks at the TV. And I can feel him trying to look at me like, oh shit. Like, I can't believe she said that. Like, he's going to say some crazy shit to her. And I heard it. And then she followed it up with something like, well, that's just not how you're supposed to do it. And in my mind, I was like, this is why I don't want to come here. Like, this is why. This is the shit I'm talking about. I could have been at home resting. I'm fucking sick, but now I have to deal with this bullshit. Even if I felt good, I still probably wouldn't have said anything, but it's like, this is why I don't like coming to certain events. Like, this is why I say I feel uncomfortable. This is why I like skipping some of your family events. Like, I don't think that all of your family feels like this, but I feel like a certain portion does. And, it's your right to feel that way, but it's also my right to not want to deal with that shit. Nothing personal. Because now, if I blow up and I say some crazy shit, I'm the bad guy. Well, why did you cuss my aunt out? Like, well, did you hear what she said? Like, I think I'm well within my rights to express my opinion. If you want to express your opinion, let me tell you about yourself. So the rest of the day goes off without a hitch. They do their little white elephant thing. They exchange their gifts, so on and so forth. And we go, and we have we enjoy the rest of our evening before we go to my new favorite place. If Bed Bath & Beyond, listen, Bed Bath & Beyond's top 5 now. Top 5 favorite places. Strong number 2. The dog park, well, I guess that doesn't count as a place I like to go to shop. Home Depot is probably number 3. Bed Bath & Beyond it's up there between 1 and 2 right now. My new favorite place is going to be a tie with Bed Bath & Beyond. It's IKEA. Never been there before. I had no idea. I just thought it was some whack-ass furniture place because they have one out here first of all, I don't know if they're all this big. I feel like they all are this big. The place is fucking huge. They've got bedroom sets. They've got stuff for the house. I had no idea. Being an adult is so much fun. I was like, this is crazy. Like, there's literally a thing to decorate your entire house with. There's sheets. There's table stands. There's armoires. There's the footstool things. Like, end tables, I didn't really want to be there because I didn't feel good. I was tired and I wanted to lay down, but mentally I was taking notes. Like, okay, this is going to help me and Lauren finish off our color scheme for the rest of the house. I need to immediately email her so we can get it together some other day. So we walk around in the entirely wrong section. We were completely lost. There's one part of IKEA, for those of you who've never been, there's an entire section of, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. I can't think of what it's called, but when you have, all the furniture and stuff set up to look like a real, staged. There we go. Jesus. So they have all of these different rooms staged upstairs. So it has the entire same design. So it'll have 10, 15 kitchens and then 10 or 15 rooms and then living rooms. And it'll tell you how many square feet in case you have like a fucking apartment like ours. It's 400, 500 square feet. And it shows you all these different things. I was blown away. Because for the longest time, I used to hate on IKEA. I was like, oh, that's fucking trash, this and this and this and this and this. I was absolutely wrong. I'm the first to admit. I was 100% wrong. IKEA isn't the shit. It is the shit. So we go through there.
we ended up being in the wrong section. So we go and find there's like a warehouse section of it. So there's the ones that are already assembled, so you see what they look like, and then you go to a warehouse and you can pick them out, and you just pick it up, put it in your little cart, and you take it out there. So me being the doofus that I am, I found out that IKEA's their shopping carts have all-wheel drive, basically meaning that all four wheels turn, as opposed to just like the back two being steady and the front two turn. Oh no. So I was surfing in the warehouse thing on her little cart. And my wife took a video of me and posted it because she's a hater. She thought I was going to fall. But no. True Sav's not going out like that. So we ended up buying an armoire because she took all of the closet space. So I had to have my own closet. So we get it, buy everything. And then they sell food there. I didn't know they sell food. Now, the food where the stage stuff was at smelled like cafeteria food. I didn't want that. They sell, like, veggie hot dogs for, like, 75 cents. I was like, yeah, holla at your boy. Like, I need one of those. I mean, it wasn't the greatest. Like, it tasted like any other, like, veggie substitute. Or it tasted like a potato patty or whatever. But, I mean, that was fine with me. I didn't really mind. It was 75 cents. Who cares? So then the way it is they don't have parking spots in front of the store. Like, all the parking is in a garage. And then the spots in the front are for loading and unloading. So I told her, well, you just wait here. I'll go get the car. And so there was, I don't know, 10, 15 spots. I mean, it was really, the Swedish people got it together. Because if you have parking in the front, and then the way it is in Emeryville, there's just not a lot of parking. So all the spots in front of the store are strictly loading. So you'll stand out if you park right there because it's obvious. Like, well, you're not loading anything. Why is your car sitting here? So I told her, look, I'll get the car. You stay here. I'll come back. So I come back to meet her, and of course, all the spots are filled. I mean, how long does it take to load your stuff? 5 minutes or something. So I see a spot on the end. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Like, whatever. So I'm backing into the spot, and I can see her talking to this lady. And it was like, oh, whatever. So I back into the spot, and as I get out, her and the lady are going back and forth. And the lady is saying, you can't park there. Like, we're waiting for something. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So my wife is yelling at her, like, well, we're doing this. And I tell her, first of all, stop talking. Move the seat so we can pack this stuff. Why are you even talking to her? So the lady tries to yell at me. I turn around and just look at her. And I'm like, hey, yo, shut the fuck up. I didn't say you could park there. Some. And my wife is trying to respond. I'm like, look, just stop talking. Just do what we got to do and we can leave. Like, you look crazy as fuck right now arguing with this lady that barely speaks English. Like, what are you doing? So we load the stuff up and she still got attitude. So I'm like, my first thing was, where's your husband at? Because you're not loading this stuff. She had 2 kids with her. So in my mind, I'm already planning the worst. I'm already like, okay. Because I'm thinking like, well, maybe, are there like assigned parking spots? Because I'm like, I know there's not. Because there was 6 empty spots when I had left. And now they're all full. But you can see people loading stuff. It's not like it's a parking spot. And even if it was a parking spot, you should have been in the spot if you wanted to hold it. So, because I've never been here, so I don't know protocol. So we're loading the stuff, and I see her husband pull up. So I stop what I'm doing, and it's kind of hard to describe, but like, there's parking spots that back up to the thing. There's like a bar so that the shopping carts can't roll into the parking lot. And her stuff is right in front of where we parked at. So we're like working around this pole. So when dude pulls up, she starts speaking, I don't know, maybe Swedish or Dutch, I'm not sure. Something Eastern European. So she's angry. She's talking to him. So I immediately look at him and make dead eye contact. So he sees that I'm not playing. He looks at me and is like, oh. So he looks back at her and he was like, he says something. And she immediately scoops the kids up and walks to the car and doesn't say another word. So as he walks up on me, I step on the other side of the railing and stand by his stuff and just look at him. Like, if you say something else, my nigga, we're going to be tussling in IKEA. Like, if you really want a problem. So he just says, excuse me, moves his stuff, goes to the car. And I was like, okay, that's what I thought. So we put our stuff in the car. And I know. I'm trying to be a civilized human being, but I just can't. It's in me. It just won't leave me. And so I'm telling my wife when we get in the car, I'm like, a wise man said, you don't argue with fools. Because from a distance, you can't tell who's who. Well, she was saying this. I was like, okay. Did she put her hands on you? Well, no. Then what the fuck are you arguing about? Like, there's nothing to talk about. You're not going to move me. You're not going to make me move. If you're not touching my stuff, let her yell. Because now, from the outside, if someone else is watching this happen, all they see is two people arguing. But if she's yelling at you and you're not responding, you're just standing there, then they're going to say, oh, well, the one Swedish lady was yelling at the black lady and she just didn't say anything. That's going to be the story. But if something were to happen and the story is, oh, they were yelling at each other and going back and forth, now you look crazy as fuck. But as long as you're remaining calm, like I said, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to make me move the car. You're not going to put your hands on me because if you put your hands on me, I'm going to dust you off. So, like, you have to learn how to pick your battles. Like, especially if you're not a fighter, if you're not really going to do something to her. So what's the point in arguing? Like, were you going to change her mind by arguing with her? Well, no. Well, why waste your breath? I'm just saying. Like, I was like, and now again, you've put me in a situation. Because now you arguing with her, what happens if dude comes over and he wants to argue? Why is she yelling at my wife? Now I've got to do something. Like, just let it go. Now, if she puts her hands on you, that's a whole other situation. You could do whatever you want to do. German suplex her. I was like, and she has kids with her. So at the end of the day, it's a lose-lose for us. It took us 5 minutes to do the stuff, and the husband obviously knew she was in the wrong because he came and told her to shut up and get in the car. So, I mean, it's situational awareness. I call it a teachable moment. It's like just like how I told the young lady that I had to fire, like, bro, you have to be able to control your emotions. Things are going to happen. People are going to put you in situations that are uncomfortable, that you're going to want to say something. You're going to want to say some foul shit to them. But you have to look at the end impact. Like, my dad would always tell me, before you do something, think about how this will look in the newspaper. How will this look after it plays out? How will the story be told? And that's kept me out of a lot of situations. Because at the end of the day, if I jump on him, now the story is we attacked some couple in front of their kids at IKEA over a parking space. And that may not be true. She may have started it, but that's not what matters. What matters is what is the narrative going to be after this. So I get it. Like, would she be annoying? Yeah, probably. But at the end, it wasn't really worth it over a 5-minute parking spot. Just like the girl that got fired. Was it really worth losing your job the day before Christmas because you had a bad day? Would it really have been me worth cussing out her aunt at Christmas because of some ignorant ass, lightly veiled racist comment that she made? Like, no. I just don't fuck with you now. Like, you got to pick your spots. Like, what did he say? What my man Kenny Rogers? You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk and when to run away. Yes. Sometimes you got to let ignorant motherfuckers be ignorant motherfuckers. Like, you don't know what happened to her before this. I don't know what might happen in whatever country she's from. That might be a thing, but that's not my business. Speaking of the wife, she's calling right now. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. I'll be back. Hold on. And through the magic of a pause button, I'm back. I just had to oh my gosh. So much has happened in the last 2 hours. I had to take her to the doctor and stuff. Then when she called, she wanted me to buy plane tickets to Puerto Rico for this trip that we're going on. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, I've been trying to pay these credit cards off. Now you're just hitting me with bills. So you know what that means. Someone's buying a PlayStation. True Set 52, PlayStation Network, it's on and popping. Madden, NBA 2K, fucking Call of Duty, all that. Whenever you want it. Well, you're just going to buy that? Yep, I'm going to buy it. I'm making up for all the fucked up Christmases that I had. So, I'm deciding, I'm buying myself a Christmas gift. I stay buying you Christmas gifts, so it's my turn now. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. Well, wow. It's already the end of the year. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself now. Well, it's back to eating right. Because, yeah, this is not a good feeling. I just went to the gym the other day. I weighed myself and I gained 15 pounds. So that is not a good look right now. Not a good look at all. So I'm gonna have to buckle down and be for real this time. Like it's not a good look. Especially if we're gonna go on these little trips every May. I can't be the fat nigga. That's not gonna work. So let's see. Yeah, so hopefully fireworks from the penthouse. That should be a thing. Then that's not my business. As soon as I get my co-host to get it together, I think I'm assuming she thought I was joking. But like, I'm really trying to get this together. She's playing right now, so I don't know what she's doing. Hopefully she can get it together. Let's see. Same as usual. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. True Sav Comedy. Questions, comments, concerns, best day ever podcast at gmail.com. Enjoy the rest of your holidays, even though I'm a Scrooge and I'm not. Have a safe, fun New Year. Don't spend too much money because rent's the next day. Don't forget. It's going to be an exciting year. Hopefully I can get my shit together and do all the stuff I was supposed to do this year. I can't get yesterday back. I might not get tomorrow. That makes today the best day ever. Holla at your boy.